The second thing I wanted to talk about is voting. And again, this may seem like it's esoteric, that this isn't the appealing or sexy stuff of public life. But voting is a critically important issue in any governing body. I see my friends from the town board or my friends from the county legislature. How would you like to be in a legislature where something could happen and you didn't have to vote for it? Where something could be handled by the legislature and there would be no recorded vote. In a democracy, can you imagine something being denied or turned down without a recorded vote? Well, that's actually what happens in the New York State legislature. It's what happens in the New York State Senate. When motions to discharge or motions to amend are made on the floor, the majority can invoke what's called a canvass of agreement, which is a procedural step in which you get to support a canvass of agreement or you can not vote at all. And yet, if you don't achieve a majority vote, that's not recorded. It's a convenient way to escape responsibility when what you're trying to do is duck a tough issue. That should be changed, the canvass of agreement. It's one of the recommendations of the Brennan Commission. Every single bill should have a chance to be voted on, whether it's in committee or before the full legislature. There we should invoke a change that says every time an amendment or a bill comes up, please just take a vote, yes or no. Tell your constituents how you feel. Give them an indication of whether you'll support it or defeat it. There's another thing called the star power, which is talked about in the Brennan Commission report. The star power is an ability on behalf of the legislative leader, the majority leader in the Senate, to completely control the legislative calendar. If something actually got into the hopper to be approved, the majority leader has the right, without approval of anyone else, to star a bill. And when he stars the bill is frozen. It cannot be considered by the Senate until the majority leader removes what's called the star. It's a high-handed, heavy-handed way for the leadership to completely control the legislative process. Even if there were an insurrection and the Democrats and Republicans got together and decided they were going to pass the bill without the majority leader's approval, he alone has the ability to star a bill, take it off the calendar. Even if a majority, even if every single other senator wanted it to pass, the leader himself could star the bill and take it off the calendar. It's an incredible power. It's one that's been used in the legislature. It was used when I was there, and it really defeats the whole purpose of democracy, of majority rule in democracy. There's one other thing that's important, and that is the process of amendment, the process of discharging motions, which is a procedural technique in which you can stand up in front of the body and ask the body as an entity to reach into a committee and pull out a bill for consideration or to amend the bill. My research indicates that in the last 6 years, there have been 119 motions on the floor by Democrats in which they have moved to either amend a bill or to discharge a bill from committee. And there have been lots of bills that affect lots of things. There have been bills that affect property taxes. There have been bills that affect state spending. There's a bill, the pay equity bill was the one that was done this spring that would create equity in the pay for people on the basis of doing equal pay for equal work and would affect women and minorities. In all 119 instances in the last 6 years, not one of those amendments and not one of those motions to discharge has been passed. Not one. The control on the part of the majority party and the majority leader is absolute. It is total. It is Politburo-like, and yet it occurs right here in a state that approved the Constitution of the United States and whose state Senate was the model for the construction of the federal Senate in the United States Constitution.